Compassion and forgiveness can be seen in both the literature pieces we read in class. In Macbeth, sometimes compassion was a little hard to see, but if you look closely enough, it was definitely present. Lady Macbeth was one of the examples I found. Lady Macbeth was so determined with helping her husband become a huge success that she did absolutely everything in her power to make that happen. She truly cared for her husband, and although what she convinced him to do was uncanny, she had good intentions. The other compassionate relationships I could find in the play were between parents and children. The first example is between Banquo and Fleance. On their final encounter in the play, they are approached by the murderers. They try to fight back, but they are sadly outnumbered. Banquo sacrifices himself for his son, and Fleance manages to escape. The second example of compassion I could find in the play between a parent and a child was between Lady Macduff and her son. With Lady Macduff and her son, I found the best example was when they have been approached by the murderers after their castle has been raided and they have begun to torture their people. Little Macduff stands up to them to protect his mother. Although his plan backfires, he was trying to protect his mom from being hurt. Throughout the whole play, the closest we come to forgiveness is when Macduff gives Macbeth the option of not being beheaded and going to jail instead. But Macbeth is too proud and refuses the offer. In The Apprenticeship of Denny Kravitz, it seems to be a lot easier to be able to spot out the compassion and forgiveness throughout the entire novel. The first example I have for compassion and forgiveness is Yvette. Yvette is constantly just forgiving Duddy for everything he does and how badly he treats her, and she always loves him no matter what. Also, she shows a lot of compassion to Virgil. She really accepts him for how he is, and she really likes how he treats her with all the respect that she deserves. Although favoritism is considered a bad thing, the Kravitz family seems to be famous for it. It started off with Simcha. Simcha always favored Benji over Max. And when Max became a parent, he favored Lenny over Duddy. But when Simcha became a grandfather, he favored Duddy over Lenny. And although, as I mentioned earlier, favoritism is a bad thing, all of these people are being shown compassion from people that really care about them. They're being shown how special they really are, and that it's okay to be different and have and the rest of your family. The last example I found for forgiveness was when Duddy forgives his uncle Benji for not being there for him. When Benji's on his deathbed, Duddy decides to go visit him. They begin to talk about their life and how they've avoided each other, and they manage to apologize to each other before anything would happen to Benji. Global solidarity means loving everybody as if they were your brother or sister. In life, love makes the world go around. If we didn't have it, what would there be? Sometimes we don't realize how much love is in our everyday. We are constantly surrounded by it, if it's by your parents, your friends, or even your teachers. It is all over. It may not be clear sometimes, because you could have gotten in a fight with your best friend, or with your mom over your bedroom not being clean. But forgiveness gives us the power to forget about all that stuff and just be happy. In Macbeth, one of the strongest relationships mentioned was Macbeth and Banquo. Although the ending was extremely unfortunate and cruel, Macbeth and Banquo acted as if they were brothers. They fought in the war together and had the best bromance the 1700s ever saw. The friendship that showed the most love in The Apprenticeship of Denny Kravitz is with Yvette and Virgil. Although Yvette barely knew Virgil, right away as she took him in as her own. She took him in, and once he had his accident, she became devoted to him. The examples I mentioned show compassion. They show two different kinds of love: a friendship kind of love and a motherly kind of love. They also show that no matter what, no matter who it is, that you should love everybody equally and care for anybody that comes your way.